Grape vinegar might seem like a simple kitchen ingredient, yet it's part of a global market worth over $6 billion a year. From gourmet dishes to everyday recipes, millions of people use it daily. But how does fresh grape juice go from vineyard to bottle with that perfect tang? Well, let's uncover all that here at the Process World. Long before vinegar bottles lined supermarket shelves, grape vinegar was born from one of the oldest human experiments with food, winemaking. Thousands of years ago, in ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, people discovered that when wine was left exposed to air for too long, it developed a tangy, sour taste. Far from being wasted, this sour wine became valued for preserving food, adding flavor, and even treating wounds. Archaeologists have found traces of vinegar in Egyptian urns dating back over 3,000 years, proving it was already part of daily life back then. The Romans carried the tradition across their empire, using grape vinegar to season food, make drinks like pasca, and clean wounds during military campaigns. In the Middle Ages, vinegar making became more refined, with French producers developing the famous Orléans method, which used wooden barrels and slow fermentation for richer flavors. Over the centuries, every region adapted the process to local tastes. Italy gave the world balsamic vinegar, made from concentrated grape must and aged in wooden casks for years. In Asia, grape vinegar blended with local fruits and spices found its way into marinades and sauces. Today, factories around the world have turned what started as a lucky accident into a controlled science, producing thousands of liters of grape vinegar with precise flavor, acidity, and quality. But how exactly do they do it? Well, before we get into that, please leave a like and subscribe for more amazing videos like this one. Now moving on. The journey to great grape vinegar starts in the vineyard long before any factory machinery is switched on. The type of grapes chosen makes all the difference to the final taste. Vinegar producers often look for grapes that are naturally rich in sugars and have a balanced acidity, qualities that help create a smooth, flavorful product. Wine grapes are a popular choice because of their complex aromas, while some producers use table grapes when aiming for a lighter, fruitier vinegar. Harvest timing is just as important. Grapes picked too early might be too sour, and those picked too late could be overly sweet. Skilled growers monitor the sugar content, acidity, and ripeness, making sure the grapes are at their best before they're sent off for processing. Once harvested, the grapes are carefully handled to avoid bruising or spoilage. They're transported quickly from the vineyard to the production site, where they're stored under the right conditions to keep them fresh. This stage is all about protecting the natural flavors of the fruit so that every drop of vinegar made later carries that authentic grape character. From here, the raw material is ready to begin its transformation into one of the world's oldest and most versatile condiments. Once the grapes arrive at the production site, they're thoroughly washed to remove any dust or debris from the vineyard. They're then crushed to release the juice, which contains the natural sugars that will drive the fermentation process. The juice is often clarified to remove unwanted solids, ensuring a cleaner base for the next steps. Then, selected wine yeast is added, kicking off alcoholic fermentation. This is where the magic begins. The yeast consumes the sugars and produces alcohol. In most vinegar production, the target is a wine with around 5 to 15% alcohol, which is ideal for the next stage when the bacteria take over. Producers also fine-tune the mix at this point. They may add nutrients to keep the yeast healthy and create a consistent batch of wine across the whole production run. Once the wine base is ready, it's time for the real transformation to begin, and that's where acetic acid bacteria come in. These microscopic workers are the reason wine turns into vinegar. The most common varieties used in grape vinegar production are from the Acetobacter group, with Comagataibacter europaeus being one of the champions for creating consistent, high-quality results. Their job is simple in theory: convert the alcohol in the wine into acetic acid, but they need the right environment to do it efficiently. That means giving them oxygen, warmth, and a steady supply of nutrients. In many factories, the process is sped up by adding what's called the mother of vinegar, a cellulose-rich layer filled with active bacteria taken from a previous batch. This jumpstarts the fermentation and helps control the flavor profile. These bacteria are incredibly sensitive to their surroundings, so the production team keeps a close eye on temperature, oxygen levels, and acidity. Once the bacteria are ready to do their job, the factory decides how the fermentation will be handled. Modern facilities often use the submerged fermentation method. Here, the wine base is pumped into large stainless steel tanks equipped with aeration systems. Oxygen is bubbled through the liquid to keep the bacteria active, and the temperature is carefully maintained. This method is efficient, producing a finished vinegar in as little as 24 to 48 hours. Some producers still favor the generator or tower method. In this setup, the wine slowly trickles through tall vats packed with materials like beechwood shavings. These surfaces give the bacteria more contact with the liquid, and air is drawn up through the tower to keep the process moving. While not as fast as the submerged method, it develops strong, well-rounded flavors. For premium, artisanal batches, there's the Orléans method, where wine rests in wooden barrels and ferments slowly on the surface. It can take months, but the resulting vinegar has a deep, complex character that many chefs love. Throughout the process, the acidity is checked regularly. Once it reaches around 6 to 8%, the batch is ready for the next stage. To get a clear, clean product, factories use filtration systems. One common method is rotary vacuum filtration, where the vinegar is gently drawn through a rotating drum covered in filter cloth and a fine filtering aid. This removes sediment while preserving flavor. After filtration, many producers allow the vinegar to mature. This step can take place in stainless steel tanks for a fresh, crisp profile, or in wooden vats, often with beechwood chips, for added depth and character. Maturation helps smooth out any sharp edges in the taste, allowing the flavors to blend naturally over time. During this period, the vinegar is also tested for acidity and aroma to ensure it meets quality standards. When the vinegar has reached its perfect taste and clarity, it's time to prepare it for the market. Factories use acid-resistant containers to make sure the vinegar's sharp acidity doesn't react with the packaging. For retail, this often means glass bottles or specialized food-grade plastics, while bulk vinegar may go into large stainless steel drums or intermediate containers for shipment to other manufacturers. Some producers choose to pasteurize their vinegar to extend its shelf life and maintain consistency. This involves gently heating the vinegar to around 85 degrees Celsius for a few minutes, which eliminates any remaining bacteria without changing the flavor. After pasteurization, the vinegar is cooled to about 25 degrees Celsius to prevent damage to the bottles or labels. Once cooled, the bottles move through labeling machines where each one is coated for traceability. This ensures every batch can be tracked from the factory floor to the store shelf. Finally, the packaged vinegar is boxed and stored in a controlled environment, ready to be distributed to markets, restaurants, and homes around the world. Once the vinegar leaves the factory, its journey is far from over. In kitchens, it becomes a key ingredient in salad dressings, marinades, and sauces, adding a distinct tang that can brighten almost any dish. Chefs use it to balance flavors in everything from roasted vegetables to slow-cooked meats, while home cooks rely on it for pickling fresh produce. In Middle Eastern cuisine, grape vinegar remains an essential pantry item, often blended into salads like fattoush, added to stews for brightness, or mixed with pomegranate molasses for tangy marinades. Beyond the kitchen, grape vinegar also finds its way into traditional health remedies and cosmetic products. In some cultures, it's diluted and used as a tonic, while in others, it's part of skin and hair care routines thanks to its natural acidity. Its cleaning abilities have also been valued for generations, offering an effective, food-safe option for household use. Whether it's enhancing a gourmet dish in a high-end restaurant or helping preserve vegetables in a family kitchen, grape vinegar connects ancient food traditions with modern lifestyles. Every bottle carries the work of the vineyard, the precision of the factory, and a flavor that has been appreciated across centuries and cultures. So now that you know how a simple grape becomes a tangy vinegar through centuries-old tradition and modern precision, here's something to think about. If you had the chance to create your own vinegar, would you stick to classic grapes or experiment with an entirely different fruit to craft a flavor the world has never tasted? Comment down below as you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.